Star Wars Comlink fans, we have a really exciting guest here on the show this week. Finally, we were able to talk to Hera herself, Vanessa Marshall, but not just Hera. You've done so many things in Star Wars. You've been following Star Wars as a fan and as a voice actor.
Yes.
So excited to have you here on the show.
Thank you. I am so honored to be here, and thank you for doing this.
Oh,
am I right, people?
this?
Seriously, is this a dream come true? Literally, yes, it is.
Well, it is for me, for us and the crew, yeah.
I mean, really, this is heaven on earth right here. Okay.
I do have to say, like, you know, one of the things that was so obvious when I first met you, and it's what's amazing is we hadn't met before, but I immediately could tell. Well, no, I mean, because you've done so much voiceover work in video games.
Backpack?
We might have. It was the Rebel Alliance backpack, and it was just like you were. Everything that I was looking at and staring and thinking was awesome. You were already doing that. You had beaten everyone to it. Like you're a mega Star Wars fan.
In terms of the films, Clone Wars, and of course Rebels. Yes, I'm all over it, and comics. So.
Well, that's the thing about Star Wars is it's so huge, right? And everyone seems to have their kind of expertise. And of course, so you were a huge Clone Wars fan. I mean, that was really obvious when you and I met.
Whoa, yeah.
You almost had an emotional reaction, I remember. I think it was at WonderCon when we were talking about the Clone Wars. And what was it about that show that really resonated with you?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, those people are so talented on every level. Kevin Kiner, the music would just teleport you instantly back to the good old days of, you know, for me, the original trilogy, but Ashley Eckstein, James Arnold Taylor. Everyone's work was so grounded and heartfelt, and Dave Filoni, total genius. The artwork was insane, and all the elements and themes of Star Wars that I adore in terms of standing up and doing the right thing, or sort of pursuing the right path. And I mean, there was just so much to love, and it was unending. And I know many of the actors who are in it. I've worked with them. Nika Futterman, I adore her. Asajj Ventress was unreal, and it's weird to know those people and then hear them in the cartoon. Next time I see them, it's really difficult to not flail.
Really?
But,
that's good. You have a fan moment with a friend of yours?
I just have to disassociate and pretend that, you know, we're plumbers and this is just what we do all day, and it's really not a big deal. But their work is exceptional. Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
And with Star Wars Rebels now, obviously you've told the story many times about, well, I got the call from Dave Filoni. No, I did. You know, did I get the part? I didn't get the part. But what about when you first saw your first episode? I mean, I don't mean like a bit of animation or anything like that you were looping, but I mean, Spark of Rebellion aired, or one of the shorts aired.
I was blown away. I had no clue after the first session that we did. I remember driving home thinking, I have no idea what I just did. I really hope it's up to par. I mean, you're lifting up a legacy, and of course you want to do a wonderful job for all the fans, and even for myself as a fan. And I remember I emailed Lindsay Perlman and I said, listen, I never got my script beforehand. That was like a cold read. Was that okay?
Just your first, what was the first thing that you read?
The short that we did. And she was like, oh yeah, no, it was great. And I thought, well, thank goodness. You know, hopefully that's true. But when I saw it finally executed, that bit with Kanan where, you know, he's sort of we're arguing on the Comlink, and
that was a great short. Hey, the Comlink.
Yeah, what?
Hey, thanks for the plug. I'll pay you later.
Sure. Yeah, and I couldn't believe the animation. Their eyes were so vibrant and twinkly. It reminded me of Ahsoka. Ahsoka, I adore. Yeah. Gosh, I just adore her so much. But anyway, it was surreal. And while I had voiced those parts, because I'm such a Star Wars fan and watching it, I don't really remember saying those words. I was able to experience it as a fan. And it's been interesting to go back and watch the movies after seeing some of Rebels. I had originally, because of the Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith blew wide open for me. And then, of course, Return of the Jedi, the final moments of Return of the Jedi.
So episode 4 is maybe...
Well, but now, after watching Rebels, I was so moved. The things that I paid attention to were how Luke could very well go to the dark side. I never really noticed that before.
Because of Ezra and...
Well, because of Ezra. Well, but also, even thinking about episode 7, do you know where they're going to go with it? I mean...
Where are they going to go with it, Vanessa Marshall?
I have no idea, but sifting for clues through episode 4 and 5, I had in earlier interviews they would ask me, what is your favorite movie, and I would say 6. I love Return of the Jedi because of the final completion of the arc for Anakin with his son, and for me the hero's journey and all that Joseph Campbell stuff, it was so resonant and satisfying. But after watching Rebels for a time, I gotta say New Hope and Empire are so much richer for me than they ever have been. So it's so wonderful that the canon can burst wide open again and again for us, and we can change which film we love. Half the lines that I prefer are in Revenge of the Sith. I realized I was thinking about all of them. So this is how Liberty dies with thunderous applause, Padme. I love when he says, you know, may I learn this dark way or whatever, and he says, not from a Jedi.
So good.
That man takes every syllable of every word he says. He's brilliant.
I heard that he was very sick on the day that they shot that.
Well,
like he had a cold or
brilliant.
something. And I feel like, because I've been looking for it ever since, and I don't know where I read that. If anyone's watching and can remember, please comment on this. But I think he had the flu or had a cold when they shot it, and it kind of plays into his understated sort of quiet and draws you in because he's so like quiet and it's just creepy.
His charisma.
It's one of my favorite Star Wars scenes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then some of Yoda's quotes in that film are also some of my favorites. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. That'll harpoon your soul.
Yeah.
Meditate on that, people. We'll get back to you. Yeah. So again, it's lovely to have the prequels bust wide open again too. So anyway.
Well, it is interesting, looking at Rebels, how much of a sort of classic trilogy renaissance we're experiencing, because we were in the prequel era for a long time.
Yeah.
From '99 to 2014, really. I mean, for 15 years, we were really thinking about those movies. And now, you mentioned Kevin Kiner, the Ralph McQuarrie influence.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, now that you've seen Rebels, you know what it is. You know what Hera is.
Yes.
Does it change your performance at all when you go back in and read? Or do you just kind of have to stick to the roots of what you did when you first walked in?
Well, what's fascinating is they do film us as we read. And many of her facial gestures are similar to my own. So that's terrifying to see a bit.
For animation reference.
Exactly. And I also box and I fire guns, so I think I share.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
That's awesome.
I train with an MMA fighter. If this is redundant for any of you, I apologize. Because
Hera trains with an MMA fighter is probably the most amazing thing
I did
I've
12
heard in a long
rounds
time.
today. Actually, you see my knuckles all bruised?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, those rings are
the
no joke
Nassim,
either.
you remember Nassim in boxing? You do a jab, uppercut, and that's lights out, people. Anyway,
Wow.
But I see some of my mannerisms in her animation, and that's slightly bizarre to see. So, yeah.
So it doesn't really change because you kind of recognize that it's you, and does that kind of keep you on the straight path then when you go back in now? Or
to be honest with you,
does Dave have to correct anything, or how does that work?
Well, he really trusts us. We sort of find our way, and we sometimes will run a scene 2 or 3 times in a row. But after I read A New Dawn, that drastically impacted my performance because I had a specific understanding of exactly how I met Kanan. I had a richer sense of their backstory and some of the atrocities that they've witnessed. I've thought about this before, and I think Simon Kinberg said this at San Diego Comic-Con, that at one point the Civil War was 2 dudes in a barn. And how does it translate? We sort of take for granted, like at one point there were 2 dudes in a barn who had a great idea, and then they put it into action, which is what I love about the title, Spark of Rebellion. I have a million great ideas. Do I act on many of them? Probably not. But these are people who really walk the walk. And so after reading that book, and if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Miller's an amazing author, but that definitely made me feel so much more grounded. Getting, sort of more of a sense of her history, I guess.
Were you given any sort of maybe a Cliff Note version of that backstory when you first started?
Sure. Yeah.
So it wasn't too cold when you first stared. It was.
No. No. I mean, I had a vague sense of how we met and our history, but
it's different when you read it.
I mean, when you watch innocent lives taken by the Empire in such gruesome, horrifying ways, and you are absolutely powerless to do anything to save them, when you then return to a script in Rebels, you understand exactly why you're going to feed those people who are starving to death and others who are marginalized in the Outer Rim. You're going to get there and you're going to save them because you're not going to let them die, you know.
You are Hera. Can I just say that right now? I'm just sitting here like, sorry, I'm just going to get a little misty-eyed here. Okay, well, I want to go on the Ghost and go on adventures and find my inner spark of rebellion. I mean, does Hera just bring that out in people? I mean,
I guess so. I mean, it
brings it out in you, clearly.
It does bring it out in me. And if anything, I feel like I fall short in my own life. I mean, Hera is so focused. Mm-hmm. I can get so distracted by petty silliness. Even the 405 can make me homicidal.
Interesting to say you fall short of being Hera. That's someone that the Rebels should aspire to be. The whole cast is
absolutely. Here's what I'm saying. I volunteer for various organizations that help young women who are looking at Step Up Women's Organization, Women for Women. That's sort of where I put this desire for, sort of to create change and help people who deserve it. That's sort of what I do with it. But there, that the revolution recently in Egypt, I don't know if you saw the documentary, it was on Netflix. I highly recommend watching that. You can really get a sense of what it means to risk your life on a daily basis for an idea. Like when Hera says, if all you do is fight for your own life, then your life is worth nothing. Can you really say that you would die for what you believe in? Now, if it were for Star Wars, gladly, no. But I mean that is something to really chew on. And I ask myself that question, like, do I really put my money where my mouth is? And I mean, I think I do to the extent that I'm capable of creating change. But what did Luke say? Well, I can't do anything. I got to work on the farm. What can I do? We all, okay, that's not what he sounds like, but.
It's a little what he sounds like.
A little bit. I was going to go to Tashi Station.
You can play with your friends later, please.
Yeah.
No, but that's one of the things I loved about Spark of Rebellion was that moment where Ezra had to make that decision to join the crew. And you do feel the fear, right? I mean, he's had some tussles with some of these guys, and he makes the decision, but it's not easy. It's not a foregone conclusion that you're going to stop hiding up here in this little hideout that he has in this tower and join this crew, because that's dangerous, You could die.
It is.
And these are strangers.
He lost his family already. Mm-hmm. And if he gets close to anyone else, he may lose them too.
Oh, that's a good point.
And now I'm an only child, and I've been on my own for quite some time, as far as I can recall. I mean, I have cousins and I have friends that I'm very close to, but my family is like my Star Wars friends on Twitter. Do you know what I'm saying? I think we can really identify with forming your own family, that sometimes those bonds are stronger than blood. Mm-hmm. But I do think part of what scares Ezra is losing another family. And I think that motivates him as well. But I think some of these things really do apply today, and I hope that they inspire people to impact their immediate environment or create some sort of change that they feel necessary in their community. I know I'm aware of it, so I hope I'm doing enough.
Well, I think that character is incredibly inspiring, and it seems like such an important character, which is what makes an episode like Idiot's Array such a tough one to swallow. I was going to ask you, what was it like having to basically play up the sort of traditional, overhyped or over-sexualized or objectified Twi'lek female? Especially, not just for Hera, but for you. Like, what did you want to bring to those scenes?
Well, here, it's kind of my natural demeanor, but it's interesting. I realize I'm a woman, but I think very much like a dude. I box, like I said. I watch football. I kind of think like a dude. I really do. I mean, I do have estrogen. There are certain things I just, they happen. But I take everyone as a human being. I just sort of, regardless of gender, race, and all that. And luckily, as I've said in other interviews, the way everyone is being universally oppressed at this point, at least in the saga, your race, your gender, no one cares. You're dead. So we're sort of on equal ground, whether you're Twi'lek, Togruta, it doesn't matter. But I just sort of dealt with him as the warrior that she is, the fighter, the pilot, who's certainly not going to take any nonsense. Hera is aware.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, she's happy to use those charms to assist if it helps the rebels' cause. Meaning, when she comes in with the tray or whatever, she says, "How would you like me to feed you?" or whatever. And so she does have sort of feminine wiles at that point. But then, of course, she bonks him and says, "That was a really useful tray." That's definitely one of my favorite lines. But I mean, there have just been moments where we get the script and I'll see Darth Vader or Yoda or C-3PO or R2-D2 or Lando, and I get to punch him? Huh, really? I was saying earlier that when she says, "Well, you're just going to have to owe me one," Freddie turned to me and he was like, "Do you think?" I said, "I don't know." And we're of course thinking, is that why Lando ends up helping them in
Empire?
Yeah, in Empire. Yeah. And when I rewatched it, I'm like, no, I don't think he does. I think he feels kind of pissed off at Vader for going south on his deal.
But it is an echo, right? It's an echo of what's to come, or maybe vice versa. But yeah, I mean, it plays into what we know eventually happens really, really well.
Yeah.
Did you get to read any of those scenes with?
No, he was doing Dancing with the Stars at the time.
Oh, interesting.
And I've not really interacted with the sort of great heroes of our time. We just sort of come in and do our part and leave. And that's the magic of seeing it all edited together. I couldn't believe how well. But you know what? That's actually true for the games,
Sure.
Or Jan Ors and some of these. Was it Vosh? I play a Togruta Jedi, Lana Vosh, I think it is.
In the Old Republic?
Yeah, or
was it KOTOR?
Or 2.
KOTOR 2?
I think so. I have to check my Twitter feed because there's one girl who sends me pictures constantly. And
so that's what we worked on together. I was sure there was something, but I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. There was like a million people in that game, so
I know.
There's no way I ever would have.
But when I've seen these, I've seen bits on YouTube. And Jennifer Hale is some, majestic Jedi. That also came out so well that it's not that shocking that, if you're not in the same room at the same time, that it can appear as though you are ultimately. But Idiot's Array was hilarious to me. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. And those cameos, I mean, they've been really good.
Yeah.
Frank Oz as Yoda.
Yep.
Billy D. Williams. And then, of course, how great to see Tarkin be such a badass. I mean, and the way he kind of dresses down the Inquisitor. I mean, just the whole thing is just so
cold.
like, that's what we want to see. We've been wanting to see that because it informs Episode 4.
Absolutely.
And we've had very little of that. It was exciting on the Clone Wars, but this was
the
something
Tarkin
special.
book is also quite amazing. I recommend that. Ooh.
James Luceno.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Also great. And there's Kenobi right there.
Yes, Kenobi.
Another great book.
I believe that's Rourke's copy of Kenobi.
Very good.
Yes, very good. We have a lot of folks that are extremely passionate about books, about the comic books. That's a lot to keep up with.
It is. Yeah. I just got number 1 and 2.
Star Wars.
Yes. And it's. I wonder if these people who work in the comic book stores are like, wait a minute, she's that Twi'lek, isn't she? Because I'm ordering them. I don't go in there because it's usually 3 a.m. I'll pop up out of bed. I didn't get the comic, and then I'll just order it online. But anyway.
Which cover did you get of Star Wars number 1? That's the real question.
The one it's a white cover with I believe it's Luke. And then the second one is with Darth Vader, and it's sort of a yellow color. Yeah.
There's
I know
so
there are
many,
several.
honestly, like I couldn't even. I'm like, oh, that one.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of Star Wars lore. It's easy to be intimidated, but the thing about it is that, Rebels is just so front and center right now. And it just seems to be doing incredibly well. I mean, you've been traveling all over the place and having a million interviews. Has it let up for you at all, or is it just still like a wild ride in terms of the PR machine and interviews like this? And
maybe it's not quite as intense. Maybe it's not quite as intense, but it is sort of ongoing. Definitely. There are a bunch of podcasts that I want to do. I mean, I want to talk Star Wars all the time. That's why I'm saying, like, if I talk too much, just tell me to shut up.
Not going to happen.
Because I can go on and on, literally.
But Star Wars Celebration coming up, Star Wars weekends and at Disney World, all those kind of things. You looking forward to those?
Yes, all of them. Yeah, it's. I can't even describe what it feels like. Sitting in that car, There's a parade. It's surreal. I mean, you've got John Williams music playing. You have the 501st, the Rebel Legion all around you. I'm high-fiving them all. I live for them. I love all of them down in Florida, and also here at the SoCal Garrison. I'm very good friends with many people. But when that music is playing and you're sort of, every person there gets it.
Yeah.
It's really moving. It's hard not to cry. I cried many times. And I spoke about, it was Peter Mayhew's birthday when I was there. They brought,
yes.
Okay, they brought out a cake that was a Millennium Falcon, and James Arnold Taylor hosts a show, and Ahmed Best was there, and they surprised him with a cake, and he had just had surgery to be able to walk, and he stood up on his own, and he went to the cake and blew out the candles.
Oh,
really,
so cool.
Like, seriously? Okay, let's go back to 1977. I'm sitting in a movie theater in Boulder, Colorado with my aunt. I'm like, what is this? You know, give me the popcorn. I have no clue what's going on there. But, you know, Star Wars comes up. To go from that moment to cold chillin' with Chewie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Knowing that he was
Bananas.
going to get on a plane to shoot another one.
Yes. Oh,
Too. I
thank
mean, that's
God.
the thing about Star Wars. I
Yeah.
didn't get to go, but like I would see the pictures and I was just filled with this longing to be there because they're about to go do it again.
Yeah.
When you saw that cast picture for the first time, let's talk about episode 7. When you saw that cast picture for the first time, how did that feel?
It was
mean,
like a picture of the Beatles or something. Do you know?
Kinda.
I mean, it was just epic.
Yeah, it was epic. It was just
so excited. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beyond thrilled.
I mean, do you think that there would ever be a chance for live-action Rebels characters to appear in spin-off films or any of the other films later on?
Maybe Freddie and Tia, Kanan and Sabine, because they're on camera. Maybe Ezra, maybe Taylor. Steve Bloom and I are sort of the utilitarian voiceover actors. I mean, I come from a stand-up background. You know, I was on Scrubs and I played Becky. She was a very masculine nurse. I remember I wore my Incredible Hulk shirt to the audition, and I played basketball and killed it. But I definitely looked like a dude and didn't care. So anyway, Steve and I come from, not that Tia and those guys are vain, but they look great,
Right.
you know. Steve and I are, well, no me importa, you know, we just sort of get by, we wing it. Yeah, how you doing? So I don't know that we would fall into that category. I did go to drama school, and
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Princeton for undergrad. I majored in English, and then I got a certificate in theater and dance. Okay, and then I went to drama school at NYU. And actually, here's a bananas. Okay, have you seen Banshee, by the way? If I may, just tangentially.
No.
Highly recommend. Matt Roush, who is in that, he's brilliant. He's got the spectacles and the bow tie. Anyway, he said, "Will you come do a scene for me at NYU? I want to go there for graduate school." All right, fine. So I go. Out of 2,000 people, 20 get in. He did not. I did. Bummer for him, but thank God he's killing it right now.
This is like the Tisch Masters.
Yes, the Masters in Acting program, which you spend 3 years saying lele lale lule lole lele la. Oh dear. And you're Masha, you're looking at a linoleum floor pretending you're in Moscow. It's fantastic. And it was great. I came back to Los Angeles and casting people were like, I don't care that you were in Ibsen and Chekhov and, you know, you're...
I was brilliant in Enemy of the People.
Yes, but I do Commedia dell'arte. Watch.
Look at my mask work.
Yeah, woo. Yeah, I was always so free doing the mask work. And you know, they say some people act to be seen and others to hide. I think I chose voiceover because I'm so much more comfortable. That's really been the scary thing about Star Wars. Luckily, I just love the franchise so much. I don't mind being visible within this context, but any other context, I'm usually not. No, I'll be in the back. So I don't know that I would see myself doing that on camera. But if those characters, you know, other versions of us, that would be awesome. Yeah, I would love to see what they're even like at that point. Yeah.
So you've had really positive interactions with fans. You've mentioned that before.
Yes.
You told me before we started that you had a story, or two probably.
Okay. Well,
I
first of all,
would wager.
Here now, this is.
Look at this.
This is my Darth Vader bag.
Can we see? Lift that up
sure.
here?
Yeah. So
you started telling me what was in here, and
Okay.
I wasn't even listening because I was like, wow, that's an amazing
Yeah.
bag. I just want the bag.
So this is Anakin. Has some abandonment issues. We love him. I love the person inside the mask on this one. Anywho,
The thing about Anakin is the poor guy just always loses his head. Oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, you see what I did? Oh,
Clone
terrible.
Wars, wasn't it just so enlightening? Anyway, all right. So my friend who works at Disney gave me this bag. That's the only reason I would have anything remotely of this level of darkness. Hopefully my mic isn't. All right, so I brought you my first action figure.
No way,
Yes. So
Chewie.
It's off card. Don't judge. But this was.
That means you played with it. That's
yeah,
actually really.
1970.
That's
That's an
great.
old. That's.
Oh yeah, this is like the first wave.
Yeah.
Original.
So this is my favorite. So this is all I kept seeing when Peter Mayhew's eyes were staring back at me as he's eating a bagel or whatever in the green room. I'm kind of freaking out, like, you know.
There's a fan film in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I was totally weeping. Now, the same girl who gave me this lovely suitcase, she has a friend who creates macrame headgear or hats, if you will. She showed up at my house with this bad boy.
No way.
No
Look
joke.
at this.
I basically am bringing my Lekku collection to
Oh
share
my God, may
with all
I
of
take
you.
a look at this?
Please.
Oh, and they're heavy. I imagine if you put these on, it
Yeah.
hit myself
Careful.
in the face there.
Yeah.
That's amazing with the goggles and everything.
know.
Look at that.
She's awesome. I
Oh
do
my
love Hera. I mean,
God.
Ula can dance, but I'm just saying.
They're very heavy.
So then I went to Star Wars weekends.
Oh my God, you've got multiple. So,
Okay, and this is the Alison Berrios set of Lekku. I'm waiting. I'm signing autographs. They have pictures that you sign. These people wait outside in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
And give you stuff. She handmade these, and she has a website called Cosplay for Jedi. And I just that was the first experience of sort of the generosity of spirit of
This was the first
fans.
one?
Well, this was from a friend.
I mean, these just blow me away.
This was from a stranger.
Wow.
And she waited out in the cold to hand it to me.
Wow.
Now remember, I'm like hack utilitarian actor, meaning like I'm just a nerd. That really meant a lot to me. You know, I mean, Allison, seriously, thank you so much. It's just this was a lot of time and effort, and I mean,
So was that pretty early on? Just
that was
right
at
around-
Star Wars weekends.
That was right when you were like your
last May.
introduction to the world.
Yeah, the
basically.
show hadn't even come on yet, and people
Wow.
were that down with the program. It was simply amazing. And then, now I didn't know I was going to get these, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now on the internet, and I'm on Twitter suddenly, you know, with Star Wars, and I've found my people basically.
Your tribe.
I've lived in a shoe, essentially. I mean, well, the thing is, it's like Star Wars is so sacred to me that I've nerded out all alone. Like I said, I'm an only child. I have my little action figures. It never occurred to me, like, get online and, you know, look around for other humans who get it. I mean, a lot of my friends do, but
Some
anyway,
fans are so crazy they put on a web YouTube show. I've heard.
you know what?
Yeah, and podcasts and
I've had my
costumes
nose.
and
I've really had my nose to the grindstone, and I've, you know,
yeah.
single income. I'm, you know, really just trying to be on my hustle and what have you. And I love Star Wars so deeply in my soul that to externalize it and come here and discuss it and fondle Lekku is just like, I never thought that this was going to happen to me.
Me neither.
Anyway, so there's this thing on Twitter and online, Twi'lek Paradise, right? So I find this woman, and she does, who's the Sith Twi'lek? Do we know?
It's oh, don't tell me. It's
My brain
we were
is
talking
completely
about
blanking. It'll come up in a minute.
Darth Talon.
Talon!
Of course.
Talons.
Talon! Well, so I found Twi'lek Paradise, right? And I said, listen, can you make me some green Lekku? Because this would be really awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was this was in the works for a while. So then she sends me a bill, and it was in euros. At which
Okay.
point I said, I'm sorry, where do you live? Spain. Okay, cool. So these are my Spanish Lekku.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
How do you
sure.
say Lekku in Spanish? I wonder.
Lekku.
Oh, that's very good.
don't
Whoa,
know.
and these are like, wow.
No, and those are no
These
joke.
are like you can actually
Yeah.
wear these cosplay out. Kind of, they look probably on camera. They probably look fleshy.
Well,
What
I
are they,
think
rubber?
in Call to Action in the Rebel Recon, I did an interview with Andy, and I said, "Can I put these on?" And I put the headphones on, and I looked like an absolute idiot. But hey, man, for the joke, it's worth it.
You got to do it.
Right? And I
gotta do it.
she says, you know, do you think you're becoming more like Hera? And I look in the camera, and I'm like, not at all. And I have the Lekku on suddenly. So see, again, the bit, it's worth it. 100%
totally.
commitment to the bit. It's been an adventure getting to know people online, and obviously my friends that I already have are aware of my addiction and my collection.
Your blossoming Lekku collection.
It's funny because there's a girl who role plays Sabine Wren online, and she put me in touch with the Mandalorian mercs, which I didn't even understand who I was actually talking to, but thanks to her, I met the Mandalorian mercs, and then of course I met people in the 501st here, and I was trying to create a Bo-Katan armor suit for myself. So I was in hot pursuit of that. Meanwhile, these Lekku were coming. I mean, there's just so much cosplay going on. It's ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, so you were actually trying to put together a Bo-Katan as a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever finish it, or was that
No. Well, it's interesting. Dave Filoni said it probably would be best that I not do that. Well, because I didn't originate the character, and that's kind of weird.
Right.
And I said, well, what about a femme trooper? And now femme troopers are so happening. So that's my next item on the list.
That's
Plus,
very visionary.
If I'm a bucket head at an event, you're not going to know that's me walking around.
That's right.
If you see a femme trooper, you never know.
That's right. It could be you.
Could be me.
Yeah.
Or Amanda.
So, I mean, we've talked about Rebels, we've talked about Clone Wars, the movies. The video game work you did, are you a gamer? Or is that something that, you mentioned actually that some of your cast members are gamers.
Oh yes,
is that right?
Freddie Prince, Freddie is an amazing gamer, and he convinced me to get an Xbox. I tried to play some of these games online. First of all, I don't have that kind of quality time. Second of all, not that he does, he makes that time. But some of them are so violent that I'm just trying to, like, the world is lovely, and I don't want to go to any sort of negative place unnecessarily.
But so many great Star Wars games out there.
Yes.
And PlayStation 4 games, I have to say. So
yeah, Force Unleashed, I've seen the trailers. At Force Unleashed where he fight, it's amazing. Yes, I wish I played better so that I could see all those things. But I played Jan Ors, and again.
So when you met Freddie for the first time, you were Jan Ors in Jedi Outcast. Did he any sort of geek out moments?
Well, he had a couple. I think there are games that I don't even remember I did that he was like, oh. But yeah. Anyway, I got the Xbox, so now if I might be able to start playing games again. So I don't know. I had the PlayStation back when I was doing Metal Gear. Thank God, Konami, man, those trailers are insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. But
do you still do you collect anything? I mean, you still had your Chewbacca, so you had the entire wave originally when you were a kid. Do you still collect now, or do you have to kind of hold restraint?
Oh no, definitely. No? Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
The home of Vanessa Marshall, filled with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just since the gig started on Rebels, or before? Or?
No, it was before, but it has gotten crazy. The thing is, it's like going on safari. You know, I shop for clothing in the same way. I don't necessarily just want to go and buy something that's like $1 billion. I will wait, and I will stock it, and then I will get it 30% off. So I not only get it, I get a great deal. Now, and it's not that I'm frugal or cheap. I just find it more fun that way. Likewise, I've been offered, we can get you Black Series Boba Fett. I'm like, please don't, because I'm stocking it. I will get it. Do you know what I mean? I have like my little, some of them I just had to.
It's the thrill of the hunt.
Really. A little bit.
You know,
a little bit.
I will say that since things went online and eBay, I do miss the days, and I remember these days very well, where I would drive around to the different Targets. This sounds so pathetic.
No, it does
not. But I would drive around to, I had a route. There was like Target, Walmart, Toys R Us, and then like a couple of the local comic book shops to see if they had the Wave 1 orange card Power of the Force Princess Leia.
Sorry, I'm dying.
And Boba Fett with and the long saber or long saber tray, short saber variant of whatever. I mean, it was like it just took over my entire life. But I miss that I actually had to go and look, and the idea of, is it going to be there? Is it going to be there? And when it was, forget about it.
Oh boy.
Did you? So you still live in that, even with eBay and your ability to just like, now I'm sure you could pick up the phone and be like, yo, Disney, get me.
No, I don't do that.
But you could?
Well, Star Wars Insider offered to give me a free subscription. I was like, well, I'm already a subscriber, and I don't.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I refused it, and then they're like, yeah, they keep offering me free stuff, and I know I should be like, yeah, bring it. But it's wrong. Like, I can't. I don't know. I just feel weird. That's too weird.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you're supporting the franchise. You're in the franchise. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I appreciate the gesture. I do.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
they gave us stormtrooper helmets, and I was paralyzed from the waist down for like 5 minutes. They're like, you okay? I mean, it's hardcore.
Yeah.
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 So you still shop online. You still go to the
Yes.
different comic book stores. Now, when you mentioned talking at 3 o'clock in the morning or ordering at 3 o'clock in the morning, was that online?
Yeah,
or was
online.
That too?
Yeah, online. Yeah. Well, there's a lot that I do in a day. I have other cartoons that I'm in, and I do voiceover for radio stations around the world. So their morning is our night. I have a station in Dubai and Kenya. I mean, I'm working all the time, and I don't say that as a braggart. I say that as like literally, that's what leads to 3 a.m. Oh, you forgot to get the comic, and I try and write stuff down so that I don't forget. So there's my day job. I do that, and then there's my passion, which is acquiring cool gear.
So now, with the rest of the Rebels cast
Yes.
and you guys obviously are probably getting very tight at this point. You
Yeah.
experienced something kind of life-changing together. What's the culture like amongst the cast? I mean, because Hera is kind of the leader of the Ghost in a sort of a very mature way. What's the dynamic like between you guys when you're recording?
Well, I gotta say, I am blown away by the work that they're doing. Taylor recently did some work that you'll see eventually, and I was crying, and I had tears falling out of my head onto my paper, and I was like, if you move, you're going to ruin his take. But it was so palpably effective. I mean, this is his first voiceover job, and I gotta say something, that kid is so talented. And Freddie also. Freddie is a Jedi. I mean, he's a black belt Gracie jiu-jitsu expert. He can choke you out and come back later with a bagel and be like, hey, how you doing? He can defend himself easily. And he's also very shrewd. He's got that kind of cowboy Han Solo swagger. Tia is so cool. She loves football like I do. And we get along fantastically. We're both like real low maintenance chicks. We'll go to hair and makeup. I mean, I put the eyelashes on. I have no idea what I'm doing, but, look alive. Sure, why not? But it's cool to be involved with people who just aren't. There are no haters in the group. There's not a lot of fear. There's a ton of love, and I think it starts from Dave and the people at Lucasfilm and at Disney, and it's really the love of celebrating Star Wars and that we get to do this. So I think, and Steve is. God, Steve can make sounds that are unimagineable and horrifying at times. Like if a scene, if we do a scene that's really deep and touching, and then he'll go, beep, or just something horrible. We're like, Steve. So he's a lot
he's
like
making
Zeb.
Looney Tunes jokes.
A little bit. Well, and they keep saying that I'm sort of the mom of the group, and I'm sorry if you've heard this before, but here's the deal. For whatever reason, we all get very hungry when we're working. And the problem with getting hungry in front of a microphone is your stomach starts ruining your acting, or someone else's, even worse.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. So the solution we've come up with is bananas. Now, bananas are a very dense food. You throw one of those down, you're good. You're not going to make any more noise. But so then I get this GIF from Steve Bloom, created by an artist in England, and it's a stormtrooper. No offense to the 501st and their shooting abilities, but he sent me this GIF, and I made T-shirts out of it.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Stephen Quick is the artist. You can find him on Twitter. Can you guys see that? Yeah, cool. Awesome.
I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, exactly. So I got them for the cast, but the thing is, Kevin Weir of the SoCal Garrison here, he's the one who was going to make me the Bo-Katan and the Femtrooper armor. He has a friend who makes T-shirts, and I'm not doing it to sell, so I'm not, hopefully I'm not infringing on any, rights in terms of whatever. But anyway, I brought one for each of you guys. And
Really?
Yes, I did. And that's the thing is that
Next episode, I am so wearing that T-shirt.
T-shirt guy. What's the T-shirt guy's name?
I don't know. There's someone. Yeah, I don't know.
T-shirt guy. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Huh?
So
Yeah.
okay. Well, and I talked about these at New York Comic Con, and I since gave out a bunch of them. Even to there was a woman who came to fix my gas line, a chick, and I said, "You're not." I mean, she was really very talented. I was impressed. Nothing against, I mean, I just like, you always expect it's like a guy, like, yeah, let me check your gas pipe. No, this was Linda. She was amazing. I said, you're not a Star Wars fan by any chance? Because I had like 10 million of these. She's like, you didn't see me yesterday for Father's Day. She had her Darth Vader shirt on. I was like, Linda, I've got something really special for you. And she's like, see, Star Wars family, you see that? We're everywhere.
The Potassium Trooper. I love it.
That's
see? Great.
And their shooting is so fine.
Their shooting is so bananas, let's be honest.
Bananas.
It's bananas.
So anyway, I have a bunch of these. So if you hit me up on Twitter, @VanMarshall, there's a really, really good chance that I'll send you one. I'm just saying.
But only if you subscribe to the Comlink, if you haven't already.
Yes, that's it. If you subscribe to the Comlink, you get a Stormtrooper T-shirt.
Yay!
Right? Awesome.
Yay!
We have a plan. I like it. See?
I love it.
This is how we're helping in the community.
This is
right?
so awesome. I love it.
So
yeah.
for whatever reason, they're actually quite big. So FYI, if you think you're a large, you might want to think again because that's a medium.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
Wow.
That's a healthy medium, right?
Take that shirt to dinner.
Yeah. Anywho.
I wore my eating shirt.
Yeah. So I've got my Darth Vader satchel.
This is so cool.
And this I got at WonderCon.
Oh, very nice.
Wasn't it?
Did someone make that?
Yes.
The one in Anaheim?
Yeah.
Someone made this Rebel Alliance.
Yes.
Well, obviously someone made it. But is it fan made or is it licensed?
Yes. It's Leslie. Oh. Yeah. She's amazing. And I got little. I think it was Princess Leia or Han Solo hair flower. I mean, the possibilities are endless, people.
I guess so.
Yeah, so look her up as well. At any rate, yeah, so that's the T-shirt story. So we have like sort of these inside jokes
this is awesome.
with one. Yeah, sure. I don't know what size you are, but help yourself.
I don't know.
And yes,
Well,
very
hey,
good.
this is awesome. When you're collecting, do you find that you just? I mean, I don't have enough house for this, for all this stuff.
Yeah,
that I want.
it does grow.
Yeah.
It really does grow.
Yeah.
I mostly hear dudes say, "Yeah, well, I showed her my Star Wars room, and she's a keeper."
Oh yeah, of course.
Because girls can walk in there and go like, "What is this Star Trek?" Or, not that girls don't get Star Wars, but some.
And not that Star Trek isn't cool,
but if you're a dude and you're dating a girl and she refers to Star Trek as opposed to, you just kind of go, "Wow, okay, hey, how you doing?"
I love Star Wars. Starship Enterprise, it's my jam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Trekkie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, very good.
Have you ever had a chance to go up to Lucasfilm? And
No.
talk to any of the animators and things like that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I think we're going up there in March.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you're going to see Lucasfilm Animation.
I've always wanted to go to Rancho Obi-Wan and all that. So.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
cannot wait. I cannot wait. Yeah, and again, Celebration's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! And in December we have Episode 7.
What are your plans for Episode 7? Are you going to try and get into a screening early, or just like Star Wars Insider, are you going to say, look, I'm seeing this with the people, and I'm going to wait in line and midnight screening?
Well, I'm going to see it probably 9,000 times. So if the first one is by invite to some red carpet event,
you'll go.
Oh.
Okay, all right. I was going to
What?
say, because I totally respect the
Really,
Insider thing,
dude?
but if you don't do that, you're
Really?
crazy, right?
No, that's that. I'll probably be in a straitjacket going, "Ah!" Yeah, they probably won't let me walk the red carpet because I'll just be freaking out.
I almost wish, I want to see Episode 7, but what I now really want to see is someone videotaping you watching Episode 7 for the first time, because, yeah, that would be something.
Oh, I can't wait. I feel like so many things are going to surprise us.
Yeah.
That's what my gut is telling me. In rewatching the films, there are a lot of gems in there that, if explored a little bit further, a lot of really crazy stuff can go down. That'll surprise you. I mean, I was thinking, if Luke goes to the dark side, I don't know what I'm talking about. This is me just spitballing over here.
Totally speculative.
I have no idea.
Yes.
But what if Leia steps forward and you know, becomes the Jedi. She has Force sensibilities, or at least they make reference to them. I don't know. I mean, that would be crazy,
It'd be
right?
really awesome. Yeah, there's a moment in one of the Timothy Zahn books where she uses the Force to hold up a lightsaber, and she's still learning, and it was like a very chilling moment of like, Leia's got this too. This could go in a million different directions right now.
I don't know. And I mean, I know people have speculated. This is not necessarily, I'm not, you know, claiming to have an original thought here on any level, but yeah, it'll be wild. I don't want any spoilers. I don't read spoilers. I don't want to know anything. I want to come to it clean, whether I'm trying to act civilized at a public event, or if I'm sitting with a bucket of popcorn by myself in the movie theater, which is generally what happens. So, yeah.
I know I don't like spoilers either. I think, you know, a spoiler now ruins a great surprise in the theater in December 2015. Now, I know you can't say much about what's coming up on Star Wars Rebels, but we do have a season finale coming up pretty soon.
Yes, there is a season finale. I believe it's March 3rd.
Okay.
And it will not be on the app. It will be aired for the first time. Everyone will see it at the same time, which I think is really great. I've been curious as to the strategy of having it available a week before. I get confused because I've recorded it. Some of them I've seen, some of them I haven't. I hadn't seen Idiot's Array until I watched it on TV. And there are people talking about it, but then it hasn't even aired yet, and then it airs, and then everyone's finally talking about it. I wonder what it's like for fans to accidentally read stuff on Twitter. I think it'll be interesting to see how different it is to come to it clean, all of us at the same time, live tweeting, and it's more sort of an event, I guess. But I think there's a repeat this week, and then second to last episode, I want to say is like February 23rd. Is that correct?
That seems like it would be right. Yeah.
Somewhere around then, I'm not sure, but that'll be really powerful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anything you can tell us about it?
Oh. Whew. I got chills.
Really?
The last page, I literally, I put it down and I was like, you know what? Really? They killed it. I mean, whoa. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's not very eloquent, but I can't even explain. Like I got goosebumps. Simon Kinberg, Greg Weisman, Dave Filoni, they
get it.
Yeah, they also come from a very genuine place, and their deep passion for the franchise is what sort of leads them. And man, you can feel it on the page. I can only imagine what it's going to be to see the final episodes. I'm so excited. I mean, Call to Action recently, the opening, I mean, some of these scenes, I mean, they harken back to, you know, Empire, or, I mean, you'll see a lot of that, you know, but I'm very moved, and I can't wait to see it fully, you know, come to life, not just on the page.
Man, well, we can't wait to see it either, and of course, then begin the speculation about season 2.
Oh gosh!
Congratulations, by the way.
Yes,
you know,
thank
because
you.
there's just so much more incredible stuff to come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of recording that now, I
yes.
assume?
Yeah.
Just for people who don't know, about how long before you actually see an episode as a fan is someone like Vanessa Marshall recording with the cast?
You know,
or does it vary a little?
It varies. Yeah, it does vary, and they also tend to tell us not to even talk about the time frame, and I'm saying, okay, I won't say anything. So I haven't really paid attention to it, given that they don't really want us to go into that. I think they don't want people to necessarily have a sense of where we are in the narrative, just for spoilers' sake. Or
no, that's definitely smart.
But
because there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, tell me. Sure.
Yeah, I think at least for the shorts, it was maybe 4 months before we saw. I mean, we saw something that was sort of black and white. Like sort of not really animated. They were animatics, I guess you would call them.
Previs type thing.
Right. And I thought, oh, that looks interesting. And then to see it fully executed, I was blown away. I mean, the Clone Wars was so gorgeous. The colors, I mean, all the different worlds that they created. I mean, they had that in the films. I mean, you have Hoth, you have Endor, you have all these different environments, you know, Tatooine with its desert landscape. But Clone Wars did such a great job at creating wacky planets, right? Is it Dathomir?
Dathomir,
yeah.
Dathomir's great with the witches.
Oh, then and Asajj coming home, and even Mandalore. That that whole arc with Satine and Obi-Wan and Darth and Savage.
Yeah, those are great. So those are kind of your favorite Clone Wars episodes, or would you say that?
Well, here's what's interesting. The Onderon arc. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, season 5.
Yeah, season 5, and Saw and Steel Guerrera. They sort of lead rebellion.
Very much a proto-rebels type of story.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I paid very close attention to that, and sort of, especially since Anakin was there. Well, mostly Ahsoka, but and Lux Bonteri. I mean,
there was a wonderful ending to that arc too.
Yeah.
Very tragic and
yeah. I really enjoyed that. But also when Ahsoka left, that to me is probably the finest animated moment and it's indelibly etched in my heart, and nothing has ever come close to it or will, as far as I'm concerned. That fade to black. Normally there's music at the end. That was the one episode where it was silent.
Just let it sit.
Such an elegant black. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. But yeah.
Now, in Star Wars Rebels, any favorites come to mind of what we've seen already? Any that you just saw and just thought, "Oh, I love that one"?
Well, I do like that was a useful tray. I found that to be
Idiot's Array definitely is a huge one.
Yeah, that was really cool. But some of Chopper's moments are hilarious to me.
Oh yeah, he's great. A Star is Born. You could tell right before the thing started.
Yeah, and when Zeb, just for sport, bashes bucket heads together. I just love, he doesn't ring a doorbell. He just breaks the door down, some of those moments are great. But also when they're in the elevator and Sabine and Taylor, they're talking about Kanan, and he's like, I'm right here,
Yeah.
Certain things like that, the unexpected comedy of it.
Does any of that get improv'd, or is that all? Are you guys pretty word perfect on the script, or?
We're pretty word perfect on the script. If there's something that people feel like, I don't really know that I would say it that way, they're open to hearing, and the writers are there to rewrite stuff if it doesn't fit. But again, it's a real collaborative effort, and we get to do it a couple times. So sometimes there's redemption in a third take. You do the first one, doesn't feel right. The second one feels a little better, but you know exactly how to fix it in the third. And they just let that magic unfold. So.
Well, yeah. I can't wait for more. I could sit here and talk to you all
I
night,
know,
seriously,
right?
but I want to be very respectful of your time, because we just got so much great stuff from you, and I hope you'll come back and visit us again.
Oh my God, please, I would love to.
Maybe sometime in season 2 or anytime. But
anytime, yeah.
Thank you so much for
coming
on the show. Really
Thank you, and thank you guys.